Indian football had lost all its shine in 2025 with the AIFF and the FSDL contract not renewing, leading to a temporary shutdown of India's premier domestic football league, the ISL, and with it, the I-League. The players finding it difficult to sustain themselves financially, mentally and physically. So from finishing 4th place at the 1956 Melbourne Olympic Games to looking at a blank year in domestic football, a lot went wrong for Indian football before course correction happened on the 6th of January 2026.
Away from Raul Beque, very cleverly. Wonderful goal again! He scored his first in this fixture last season.
A rapid, raging, relentless move!
This is shooting chance! He's done it again! Would you believe it?
Has he found a way? Oh, they found a way!
The Sports Minister Mansukh Mandavia breathed new life into Indian football on 6th of January 2026 after meetings with All India Football Federation and all the Indian Super League clubs announcing fresh dates for ISL and the I-League. While the ISL will begin on 14th of February 2026, I-League will also start around the same time as per the ministry.
हमारी 14 क्लब जिसमें मोहन बेगन ईस्ट बंगाल मोहम्मडन इंटर काशी मुंबई चेन्नई दिल्ली बेंगलुरु गोवा केरला पंजाब नॉर्थ ईस्ट जमशेदपुर और उड़ीसा 14 हमारे फुटबॉल क्लब के प्रतिनिधि के साथ विस्तार से मीटिंग हुई है और हम सब लोगों ने साथ में मिलकर निर्णय करा है कि ISL लीग 14 फरवरी सैटरडे से स्टार्ट होगी और सभी हमारे क्लब उसमें पार्टिसिपेशन करेगी और देश में फुटबॉल प्रेमी और हमारे प्लेयर और फुटबॉल के साथ जुड़े हुए सभी के लिए खुशी का समाचार है। देश में फुटबॉल आगे बढ़े, फुटबॉल में देश अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस करे, लीग के द्वारा हमें देश को अच्छा प्लेयर मिले, इस उद्देश्य के साथ इस लीग कराई जाएगी।
AIFF President Kalyan Chaubey, who was also present in the meeting, shared details about how the tournament will go about and what changes is it likely to see. The ISL tournament will be a 91-game affair played in a single-leg home and away format, while the I-League will have 55 matches.
बहुत सारे मीटिंग रहा, जैसा आप जानते हैं कि जनरल बॉडी ने एक ISL AIFF कोऑर्डिनेशन कमेटी तय की थी। उन्होंने 22 से 30 दिसंबर के बीच में 6 मीटिंगें की और कई ऑप्शन वहाँ पे आए। उसमें से ये ऑप्शन जो कहा गया है, होम एंड अवे में सिंगल वेन्यू मैच हो, यानी कि केरला में मैच हो सकता, गोवा में हो सकता, कोलकाता में हो सकता, बेंगलुरु में हो सकता। ये सभी क्लब के जो प्रतिनिधि है CEOs वो मिलकर के तय करेगी AIFF के साथ। एक कैप बनाया गया है सेंट्रल पूल के, जो कि 25 करोड़ की एक कैप बनी है मोर और लेस, और जिसके हमने जो लॉन्ग टर्म प्रपोजल दिया था उसमें AIFF को ओन एंड ऑपरेट करने के लिए जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट की आदेश थी उस पर 10% AIFF, 50% क्लब्स, 30% कमर्शियल पार्टनर और 10% लीगेसी क्लब जिन्होंने शुरू से इस लीग के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, यदि वो रखना चाहते हैं।
ISL club owners are happy that at least the league is taking shape and the uncertainty that had been looming large had been put to rest with this fresh development. They understand that while this may not be a long-term solution, short-term, this was a need of the hour.
Mandar PR, what does this mean? Is it a relief? Is it a lifeline? How are you looking at this announcement of ISL starting from the 14th of February?
I think I would look at it in a very positive way because I feel that this was needed. We want the sport to start, everybody involved with the sport, including the federation, the clubs, the players. We always wanted the league to start. So I think the decision that was taken collectively yesterday by the clubs as well as the AIFF in the presence of the Honorable Sports Minister, I think is with keeping the larger picture, which is Indian football in mind.
And could you also talk to us about the format that is going to be there for ISL? We heard the AIFF president talk about, 25 crore club being there for ISL specifically. So could you just talk to us about the details of how ISL is going to take place in which format?
So as far as the format is concerned, it's been proposed that we will be playing a single leg home and away sort of a format. So we've got 14 clubs in the ISL, so which means that each club will get to play 13 games because we have to play each other once. And out of these 13 games, a few clubs will be playing 7 of these games in their home stadiums and 6 they will play away. And a certain clubs will play 7 in their home stadiums or 6 in their home stadiums and 7 away. So that will be decided once the fixtures are there as to which clubs will play 7 games at home or 6 games at home. So that's basically what the format would be. So this allows certain clubs. So we have been having these conversations regarding the format for quite some time between the clubs and as well as the AIFF. There was a suggestion that certain clubs have got a very good fan base which want to come and watch the matches at their stadium to support the teams, especially teams like Kerala Blasters and Bengaluru FC. And that adds a sort of a revenue for these clubs. Also, certain clubs have got sponsors which are locally. So if the team is going to play locally, then they would be obviously interested in continuing their sponsorships with the certain club. But if those matches are not going to be played in their respective cities, then maybe there is a fear of the sponsors not being there for those certain clubs. So keeping all this in mind, I think the AIFF has taken a decision to try and keep at least most of us happy. I'm pretty sure all of us cannot be happy at the same time. But I think the larger interest is kept in mind when this decision was taken.
Lovely ball played forward.
The Indian football players had reached a point of desperation as they took to social media to appeal to FIFA to intervene and get the beautiful game back on track in India.
Pepper then coolly and calmly slots it home.
It's January and we should be on your screens as a part of a competitive football game in the Indian Super League.
Players, staff, owners and the fans deserve clarity, prediction and more importantly, a future.
Not strong enough, the ball does fall to Jimenez on the turn.
Let's also understand the background and history of the I-League. It was established in 2006 with Priya Ranjan Das Munshi as the president, but soon after Praful Patel took over as the AIFF president in 2008 and continued till 2022. It was then in 2010 that the contract with Football Sports Development Limited, body responsible for ISL, came into being. In 2014, ISL was launched after many deliberations with the AIFF. The contract lasted till 8th of December 2025, with 50 crores being given to the AIFF every year for the last 5 years. FSDL became the marketing and broadcasting partner with right to all the matches, teams from I-League to I-League second tier to national championships and national teams. In 2018, there were demands to make ISL the Premier League and move I-League to second tier.
Another Kolkata derby, another limited edition Indian Super League episode.
In 2019, Mohan Bagan and East Bengal ventured into the Indian Super League, a move that many considered a masterstroke, since these two football clubs garnered the most eyeballs. So the question is, what went wrong in 2025? The current AIFF President Kalyan Chaubey, who took over from Praful Patel in 2022, had a 100-day roadmap for Indian football back then. But 3 years into his term, situation of Indian football has gone from bad to worse, with the falling FIFA rankings as well. Is it lack of governance, administration, or just sheer failure to market Indian football correctly that's brought about this downfall?
I think it was right from the renewal of commercial partners agreement, which began 2010, December 9th, and it was scheduled to expire on 8th December 2025. It was complete 15 years of agreement. And also there was a EIFF constitution matter was going on in Supreme Court since 2017. These two matters, it concluded in same year. In October 15th, we got a final judgment on the EIFF constitution. And on 8th December this year, FSDL EIFF agreement concluded. This is interconnected because the new constitutions has come up with few articles which give direction towards structuring RFP, which is request for proposal, to get a new commercial partner. And this situation occurred from that particular articles, Article 1.21, Article 1.53, 1.54, Article 20.9M, Article 41.1, and Article 63. It has different direction towards through this article. And after going through the final RFP, which has been structured by one of the big four, KPMG, and monitored by Supreme Court committee, EIFF received, or rather that court monitor committee received, total 234 queries, 234 questions with regard to final submission of bid proposal. And thereafter, this 5 article created some challenges to go forward with this proposal. Therefore, the report submitted by Supreme Court Monitor Committee to Supreme Court says that maybe there need to structure a balance between EIFF's superiority, EIFF's authority, and commercial partners' interest. I think there is the main crux of this story. Why this getting commercial partner has become a bit challenging.
While Kalyan Chaubey put the onus on the Supreme Court, there are those who believe it is the AIFF president whose lack of vision hurt Indian football the most.
The championship trophy to the captain of Inter-Kashi Football Club.
Uttar Pradesh's first football club, Inter-Kashi FC's president says governance was one of the core issues that led to Indian football's downfall in 2025.
I think it's the vision. I think the whole idea of always saying that everything is on the court and everything is on the sports ministry is wrong. We very well knew that in 2025 the master right agreements was finishing. Even though there were court cases and there were other things, I personally feel the federation should have been more proactive and gone to the court during the summer holidays and said, this is a crisis, can you interfere and resolve it? Whatever they're doing right now could have easily been done 6 months ago during the summer holidays of the court. And maybe at that point of time, if we had felt the rush and urgency, maybe today the situation would not have come.
The shutdown or pause on Indian football did not just affect players, but an entire ecosystem that ensures livelihood for people involved with running football clubs. And one such club is Interkashi FC, and President Prithijit Das dwells onto the consequences of a timeout on domestic football league.
We understand that, of course, the impact is not just on the players, but the people who are involved with running the club as well. But just to, help viewers understand better, can you give us numbers? How many players we're talking about? How many support staff we're talking about in terms of livelihoods that could be affected or are already affected?
I think you're talking about thousands of people, players and support staff. Every team has, say a senior team has about 30-40 players, another 20-25 support staff. Then when you have matches, you have people who organize the matches, volunteers, people around the stadiums, looking up to them. You have academies, like we have an academy in Banaras. We have about 120 kids playing there. There we have another 30 people as support staff. So I think essentially every team, if you look at it, every team has about directly, indirectly about 250 to 300 people working in the club. So it's a big number.
And what is happening with them currently?
I think everyone is just waiting. Unfortunately, every day we are being told that we will have a resolution tomorrow. It's a classic example of tomorrow never comes. So I think everyone is very anxious and everyone is waiting to see what happens. And I think it is really, really tough because you have a lot of people who are on very, very minuscule wages, salaries, whose livelihood depends on football and the game, and they haven't been able to do much for the last 6 months. So nobody knows what's going to happen.
The captain of the Indian football team, Sandesh Jhingan, in an exclusive interview with Times Now, expressed his extreme displeasure over the state of affairs in Indian football. In this candid chat, he opened up on the messy tour and how finding sponsors for football is in need of the hour. Because even though ISL and I-League may begin soon, but the lack of a commercial partner is still a huge concern for AIFF and the clubs participating in the league. We have no clarity as to what happens to the Indian domestic football calendar in 2026 season, whether there is going to be ISL, I-League, is there going to be a truncated league or a full league? What is going through your mind currently? How are the players feeling? What is the conversations between the players, the club owners? What is it right now that is happening?
Firstly, thanks for having me on the show. And about the league being delayed, of course, it's going to affect us players. If I'm a journalist and I give you a situation where you cannot go to the studio, you cannot record anything, you cannot put what basically you have spent all your life to become someone, and tomorrow I tell you your news channel has shut office, there's no other news channel you can go to, you cannot write for the papers, you cannot use YouTube to send, the information, and if I shut you down completely, and when you have dedicated all your life to one craft, and when you're told you cannot do it anymore, it has a major effect on it. But I understand both the sides. It's not that I'm going to blame the AFF or I'm going to blame any other authority. I know it's a difficult situation, but it's been tough. I've never heard something like this in a very long time, at least in my country. And it has affected players, not just financially, but also emotionally, because we as footballers have a very short runway to live our dream, to play our football. That's probably, if you're lucky enough, 12 to 13 years. And that's probably at the best time of our life. But if I say you're going to miss out on one season, that translates into 1 year, just because of contracts not being signed and everything not being done. It's just tough, and all the kids back home, it's tough for them who are to be footballers. Imagine if you have a son, a boy or a girl. If my daughter wants to be a footballer and she reads up all this on the internet that there's no league happening, for a parent, it's tough to motivate your kid to go and play the sport. When you don't have the clarity, when the main league of the country is not working. And apart from that, all the people involved in the Indian football ecosystem gets effective. Small things, the ones who works in our office, the one who serves him tea, the people who regularly go to FC Goa's office. If all these things get shut, which have been shut for some time now, it's thousands of lives, without paychecks, without any surety about the job. I think more people should look into it. The government of India probably should about it. But hope more get started.
Former hockey captain and current coach of the junior men's hockey team, PR Srijesh, spoke on how uncertainty impacts players and livelihoods and asked AIFF to learn from Hockey India and the Hockey India League as well.
We are asking people whose voices matter to, sort of have a message or an appeal that let's get Indian football back on track, because it's not just the players but everyone involved with it that is being affected at this moment with no domestic structure in sight. I mean, what could your message be as someone who's been a player and now on the administrative side of the things as well?
See, basically I'm from Kerala and we are football people. So yes. Football is there in everyone's blood. So if you want to run some, a game into the international level, you need to get into the structure. That is what I think everyone can learn from Hockey India as well. Sometimes we struggle in one phase of our career, but when a structure system came into plan, and when Hockey India done everything in a structural way from the grassroots level till from the association, district association, state association to into the national association, we done it in a proper way. And definitely the seniors players or the senior administration people need to step up. They need to do the basics works to develop this game. It's really important, because in India, I do believe that we do have a great potential, a lot of enthusiastic players, the youngsters also coming up in a really well manner. But until unless if we are not having any system in the correct structured way, it's going to grow. So it's really important that somebody need to come up and take the initiative to bring these all things in the order place. Then automatically we believe that okay, we can qualify for the World Cup, and one day we will be one of the competitor among the world.
After months of uncertainty, Indian football finally has clarity. The sports minister confirming that the ISL will kick off on the 14th of February 2026. A huge relief for players, fans and an entire ecosystem that was left in limbo. But we also need to let this be a reminder of the harsh reality, the governance and commercial lapses that Indian football faced in 2025. Indian football needs transparency, accountability and consistency. Indian football deserves better, and from here on, it must get better. Karishma Singh,